Hi friends, and welcome back to Garfin's creation. With the festive season coming up, let's make some Mawa Nevries, also called as Karanji or Gujiyas. Do watch till the end for some tips on how to make this crispy Nevries. We'll begin by kneading the dough first. In a mixing bowl, I have taken 2 cups of Maida or all-purpose flour. To this, I'll be adding 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 cup of desi ghee, or also called as clarified butter. Using my hands now, I will mix the ghee and the maida till I get a nice sand-like texture. This step is very important as it makes the Nevries very crispy and flaky. You can also use both your hands and rub the ghee and the maida together. Don't forget to collect the maida from below and also rub that as well. This will help in all the maida getting coated with the ghee. After rubbing it for a few minutes, just do this test and it should form into a lump. So the atta is ready and we'll add some water and knead it. I have taken room temperature water. I'll keep adding the water gradually and knead the dough to a stiff dough. We have to make it into a tough, tight dough. Not like the one which we make for chapatis, a little more stiffer. So I won't be adding much water. Add little water as required and then knead it till you get a nice stiff dough. This is also going to help in getting nice and crispy Nevries. I have used pure ghee for kneading this, but you can also use any Vanaspati like Dalda to knead it too. You can see slowly the dough is coming together. It has almost taken me 3 to 4 minutes to knead it. So our dough is done and it is nice and stiff. When I poke too, it does not come up. So now we will cover it with a cloth and let this rest for half an hour. This will relax the dough so we can roll it well later. So while the atta is resting, let's make the mawa filling now. For that I have just heated a pan and added half a teaspoon of ghee. To this I'll be adding some finely chopped 2 tablespoon almonds, 2 tablespoon cashew nuts and 1 tablespoon charoli, also called a Chironji. I will now roast this on medium to low flame for a minute or so. Keep stirring this continuously. I have chopped the nuts finely so that the Nevries do not break while we make it or even during frying. So now after 2 minutes this is done. I'll take it out and to the same pan I'll add 1 tablespoon of ghee again. To this ghee I'll be adding half a cup of Rawa, also called as Sooji or Semolina. I will roast this on low flame and keep stirring it continuously. I will roast this for around 5 minutes till it's lightly roasted. Try not to brown the Rawa as we want to keep the filling as white as we can. So the Rawa too is nicely roasted. We will get this out of the pan and keep it in a bowl. Next I'll clean the pan and add 1 cup of Mawa, or also called Khaoya. This is unsweetened Mawa and I will roast this as well. This will remove the extra moisture from the Mawa. This way we'll get a nice dry filling. This will also help the Nevries to remain crispy for longer time. The lumps of the Mawa will slowly melt and you'll get a nice paste-like texture. After stirring this continuously for some time, it will start to form a lump again. The total roasting time for this will take around 5 to 6 minutes. Try not to brown the Mawa as well. Try to keep it as white as possible, so keep stirring till you get this form. Now we will take it out and let it cool in a bowl. Once this gets cold, it will harden up and we'll be able to crumble it later. So we have got all the things ready. Now let's mix the filling together. As you can see, the Mawa is cooled down and it is hardened a bit. I will just crumble it with my hands. And this is what you get. Now we will add this into the roasted Rawa. And along with that, we'll add the roasted nuts too. If if you cannot get Charoli or Chironji, you can skip that as well. You can add any dry fruits of your choice. I'll be adding just a pinch of salt and 1/4 cup of dry shredded coconut. You can also use grated Khopra here. I have taken 1/4 cup of sugar and just blended it into a mixer and made a powder out of it. Add this to the Rawa filling and mix it well. After mixing it well, you can taste for the sweetness. If you like, you can add another tablespoon of powdered sugar here. Now along with this, I'll be adding 1 teaspoon of Elaichi or Cardamon powder. Mix that as well and our filling will be ready. So now our delicious Mawa filling is ready. So now let's go to the next step in preparing the Neureos. We had kneaded the stiff dough and had let it to rest for half an hour. After half an hour, we will just knead the dough again just for a minute. Just a reminder, I have mentioned the full recipe in grams and in cups in the description box below. So do check that out. Our dough is ready and I'll be dividing it into 2 portions. I will now roll it into a long roll so it's easy to cut. This will help in cutting out equal portion of dough so that it's easy to roll out later and there is less wastage. Now once this is ready, I'll be cutting it into equal portions. This roll is approximate 2 inches wide and I'll be further cutting this into 1-inch portions. Then take each of the portion and roll it round and just press lightly and keep them ready. While doing this, always keep the dough covered with a napkin so that it does not get dried. You can prepare all of them in this time and keep it ready and then start making the Neureos once for all. I will now roll this into a very fine chapati. Roll it more finer than the usual chapati which you make every day. Don't keep it thick as then it would not become much crispier. The finer the better, but see that it is not so very fine also so that it may tear. So now you can check out how fine I have rolled it. The first type of Neuri which I am going to show is using this mold which I had purchased long time ago. It had come in a set of 3 pieces. I'll be using this large one. As you can see, after opening it wide, there is no gap left in between. So I'll just place the rolled out dough over it and just press it slightly. I will also bend it a little towards the inside so it's easy to put the filling in. Before adding the filling with your fingers, just add little water onto the edges of the dough. And now I'll add the filling. I'll be adding around 2 teaspoons of this filling into it. Do not overfill it as it may not close and it might tear too. It's simple. Now all you have to do is press it firmly so the 2 edges seal well. Once you have pressed this well, just remove the excess dough out. This mold is available in steel too and I'll put the link in the description box below. I would recommend you buying this type of mold as there is no gap when you open the mold wide. In this way, you will get well formed Neureos every time. It is perfectly formed on both sides and there is no tear on the sides as compared to the other molds, and it has got a nice pleated design on the edges. This is the regular mold which you get and you can see the gap when you open it is quite wide. This makes it difficult as the Neuri might tear in the center when you fold it. But if you have this mold, do try it the way I am doing it. Place the roll out chapati onto the mold and press lightly. Once you have done this, just bend it a little and apply little water all around the edges. And then we'll add the filling, that is 2 teaspoons of the filling inside it. If you find the filling coming out, just push it inside so that it doesn't come within the fold. And now place the top half of the chapati over the down one so that it doesn't get pinched when you press the mold tight. Now press it so it seals well. This way the chapati won't come out from the other side. All you have to do, now press the edges well and remove off the excess of it. So if you have this type of mold, use this tip to get perfect Neureos. Now the edges are sealed well. You can open it and you can see the pretty design that comes on to the Neureos also. So you can see, using the molds you get perfect size and shape of Neureos. As you make the Neureos, place them on a tray and keep it always covered with a napkin so that it doesn't dry off. If you do not have any mold, you can try this method. If you do not have this round cutter, you can use the lid of any bottle to cut the round shape. This you can also use the scallop part of the cutter, but I've used the round part. Remove the extra atta from the side. And I find this a little small in size and a little thicker, so I'll be rolling it a little round from all sides. So now this is perfectly thin. I'll be applying water on the edges. You can also use a brush to apply the water. And now I'll be adding the filling on one side. Traditionally, Neureos were made like that when there were no molds available at that time. Once we have put the filling, just fold the second half of the chapati over it and press gently to seal the edges. If you have a zigzag cutter, you can just cut it round the edges. You can use the same cutter what we had used before and trim off the excess so that you get a nice round shape. Then using a fork, just make this little design on the edges. This will also help in sealing the Neureos properly. So you can definitely make perfect Neureos without a mold too. So now I will continue making in the rest of the Neureos. I like this mold and I'll continue using it. This mold is really convenient and it helps in making the Neureos quite fast. There are similar molds like that now, also in plastic and steel, so I'll put the link in the description box below. So I finished making all the Neureos and I've got approximate 22 pieces out of it. I've also made a very tiny one with a very small mold that I had. So while the oil is getting hot, I'll cover and keep this Neureos ready. So the last and final step is frying the Neureos. For that, I've heated a kadai and added 1 cup of Dalda or Vanaspati ghee in it, and the same amount of 1 cup of oil I'll be adding to it. I'm using half oil and half ghee to fry the Neureos, but you can also fry them completely in oil. The oil is not too very hot or not too very cold. It is moderately heated. Test the oil is perfectly hot. You add a piece of chapati, it shouldn't pop up immediately. It should take some time and then come up. So then our oil is ready and let's fry the Neureos. We will fry the Neureos on low flame. If you keep the flame high, it will get brown quickly and not get cooked from inside, nor will it be crispy. For crispy Neureos, it is better to cook it on low flame. This may take time, around 8 to 10 minutes, but it will make the Neureos nice and crispy. Do keep turning them around and I will fry them till they are nice light brown in color. I will not make them too very dark brown. Though this sweet dish has got many names as Neureos, Karanji, Gujiyas, also many other names in other languages, they are everyone's favorite for all special occasions. But I love having this Neureos any time of the year. Now these have got a nice light brown color. I'll be taking them out. How beautiful these Neureos are. So I'll continue frying all of them in batches. And once they are cooled down completely, I will put them in an airtight box. Since these are Mawa Nevries, they remain good for 7 days at room temperature. Don't go away. We still need to do the crunch test. Let me show you how crunchy they are. These are getting fried. Let me take time and thank you for watching this video. And please do subscribe to Garfin's Creation. crispy, isn't it? There's one more coming up. Just a minute. I had prepared a very small Neuri too. It's so cute and it's also nice for gifting. Check the crunchiness of this Neuri too. Do try this delicious Mawa Nevries recipe and let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to Garfin's Creation. And see you soon in the next video. Very soon. Take care. Bye bye.